Willy Willy to Sitka. And so far, I think we're gonna blow our last track record out of the water.
I think it's a safe bet it'll take less than 55 days.
Yeah, I think so. We've been average for the trip is probably what, 4.5 knots? We've been making some good time.
We've been average for the trip, even with a couple of slow nights, but
yeah, no, I think
so far anyway,
yeah.
we got plenty of wind.
Just goes to show you we're just a little bit more prepared this time. But trip's going good. Just finished lunch with tortilla with avocado and tomato and cheese and onion in it. That was really good. Again, I made that for lunch yesterday too.
What are you gonna make for supper?
Well, I have the other half of the avocado that I have to use, so I'll work that in there somehow. I don't know yet. I was thinking of making some beans and doing like a burrito.
Oh, okay.
And, depending on the weather.
Yeah, it's been kind of rough. I mean, the whole trip has been a little boisterous.
Well, I wouldn't even put it that, but it's not the type of weather that I can be doing any major chopping and cooking in. Look at the
other night we were bouncing around so bad.
Well, neither of us got any sleep that night, so that's all right.
Well, we made progress, but boy, was it lumpy.
Well, it's the difference between, going full sail and not.
Yeah.
And I think we get a lot of heat for kind of being as slow as we are, but most people are used to being on race boats during the day.
I don't think it's heat so much as ridicule.
Well, that's all right. I don't mind being ridiculed. We learn from it. Unless you use the foul language, then that's just rude.
I don't mind being criticized.
But don't be rude.
And I'll even take the occasional gratuitous insult, but I will not be sworn at.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Anyway, that's been addressed.
Yeah.
But what I think a lot of people who are kind of discussing those things haven't been on long passages, or have been on a passage where they have 3 or 4 crew members and are on bigger boats.
Yeah.
And it's just you and me, and so we don't want to be tired all the time.
Nope.
And we reduce sail every night to reduce fatigue. And especially on this trip, because of the debris field, Jim had said they found a boat floating around. That was around 165. And I just don't want to be hitting something like that at night doing 5 knots.
No, me neither.
So absolutely this trip, may slow us down a little bit again, but at night, unless the visibility is really good.
Well, you're gonna have to be especially watchful between latitude 34, 33. We'll start in about 33 or 32, and up to about latitude 38 or even maybe
actually,
higher.
I think it was 42.
Was it 42?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to look at that chart again.
We got a printout of the debris field, and it's pretty wide. There's the major debris field, and in the one section of the high, and then there's another lesser debris field along the Alaskan coast.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't find any of those 70-foot floating docks.
I think it was a 40-foot floating dock, but that's okay. A big chunk of stuff floating in the water that is unlit.
Yeah, way bigger than I would want to hit.
Hard to see and low in the water. You don't want to. Yeah. Anyway.
So
it's going to be interesting.
Water maker's running. I think we're pretty much full on into our sea routine at this point. Unfortunately, Bree has, I think, been relegated to another area of the boat.
Yeah, we're going to have to confine Bree to a smaller area because she's just not being
not been a happy cat this
sanitary.
last few days, and it's affecting all of the crew.
Yeah,
so we're gonna have to quarantine her in an area and leave her there, not give her free access to the boat, the rest of the boat. So anyway, overcast today, and it looks like we're gonna have fairly consistent winds.
Yeah, we had a couple of squalls this morning that we ran through, some rain squalls, and that caused the wind to gust up over 25 knots. So it's been running 15 to 20. And with occasional over 20 gusts.
And you said it just switched to
it's turning a little southerly now, so we're able to steer
almost
due north. Actually, we could actually steer north-northeast if we wanted to, but I don't want to.
Want to run right into that high.
I don't want to run square into it.
Let's try and avoid that.
We don't really know where it is, but the last time we saw it was a week ago, and it would be right in front of us right now. But normally it's off a little farther to the east,
So
and
we're gonna...
the western edge would be around somewhere around 162 or thereabout longitude, and that's about where we are now. A few more degrees of latitude north before we hit it, probably around it's at 32 to 34.
Yeah.
About the same place as the debris field. So if we slide into the North Pacific High at about the same time we hit the debris field, it'll be okay, but we'll be going really slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which will give us the opportunity to take pictures and log lat long, and collect as much data for UH as we can along the way too. So
Yeah.
anyway, I think that's all we're up to today. Water maker's running, and
Yeah. Well, we've been experimenting. We haven't touched our main water tank yet. We're strictly on the water maker for fresh water. Another thing we're experimenting with is electrical current usage with the water maker and the tiller pilot. We're using the tiller pilot much more than we used to, or than we have in the past.
well, hopefully we won't be using. Well, it's because
And hopefully we won't break them.
Can't use it when it's broken. But we didn't use it at all last night.
Is-
We used the bungee all night last night.
Yeah, boat steered on the bungee. All day yesterday and all night last night.
So hopefully consistent winds, we won't have to drag the tiller pilot out at all. You used it this morning so you could eat breakfast.
Well, yeah, only so I can have free hands for a little bit.
But other than that, as long as the weather remains good, we'll be out in the cockpit, and
Might as well steer.
we're still barefoot and in shorts. That's a good thing.
Yeah, but I noticed you dragged out your long pants last night, and so did I. I was wearing my fleece pants last
I actually
night.
put on the wool socks last night. My toes were getting
Oh, it wasn't that cold.
I know it wasn't.
It wasn't cold enough for. It was not
My
cold
toes
enough
were cold.
for wool socks. Your toes were cold. And whose idea was it to go to Alaska?
That would be mine.
Okay.
So.
Until next time.